Hey, guess what? We got some more good news. Yeah? You don't believe me? Well, if you pay attention to the likes of Casey Matthews and whatever, there would be no reason to, I don't know, at least throw yourself a little bit of a celebration here. But according to Bill O'Reilly, Attorney General Bill Barr just said the Department of Justice will investigate election irregularities. Guess what? There's your fucking evidence, because he wouldn't be going off shit if it wasn't there, now would he? But apparently, there are no irregularities. Trump is out. Deal with it. Waste of taxpayers' money. And even though Amelia Son Nunez Costa here, 57 years old, spent 25% or 25 years of his life in a dictatorship in Brazil. And Fox News, who is not your friend, by the way, whatsoever. And in an instance that Amelia brings up here, they cut off a press conference with Kayleigh McEnany and other RNC members. We got to go to stupid fathead Brian Stelter here, and just to show you what we got here. This was on Neil Cavuto's show, a guy who is apparently nice and, objective about the facts, but cuts in right on a press conference there, and cuts her off, cuts the mic, and does that again with Rona McAmbrose, whoever I know her first name's Rona, head of the RNC there, and yep, obvious censorship in real time. And now they're just all collectively sticking their heads in the sand, and it's disgusting to see, but hey, there's your evidence of real widespread voter fraud. That's what the Department of Justice and Bill Barr is going to be pursuing, and of course it wouldn't be your everyday election irregularities voter fraud update without starting off in Nevada. The GOP sends criminal referrals to Bill Barr for election fraud earlier today. This was prior to his announcement with the Department of Justice, but as we see here, the Nevada Republican Party has sent a criminal referral to the Department of Justice and Attorney General Bill Barr, claiming to have found thousands of examples of voter fraud. According to the report from the Daily Wire, the Nevada Republican Party released a confirmation revealing that it has officially had lawyers send a special request to Barr regarding at least 3,062 instances of voter fraud. The Nevada Republican Party sent a criminal referral to the Department of Justice on Thursday alleging thousands of examples of voter fraud. So that must be a part of the bigger and more comprehensive suit that the DOJ is going to be pursuing, and the evidence that Bill Barr has there to pursue many voting irregularities. Well, how about this? Investigators dispatched after Fulton County discovers issue with ballot reporting. What could that possibly be? Georgia's top election official is dispatching a team of investigators after a ballot issue was discovered in one of the counties most responsible for giving former Vice President Joe Biden the lead over President Trump. Oh my God, color me shocked, right? Meanwhile, you have idiots like the Philadelphia mayor, who definitely has nothing to do with election fraud. Just take a look at the history of there in Philadelphia and the fucking shady shit they've pulled over the years. But I'll do that perhaps in another video upcoming shortly. Anyways, back to the story. Well, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger did not reveal the nature of the issue with the ballots. He did announce late Saturday that investigators were headed to State Farm Arena in Fulton County. I covered that previously. I forget which video, but I have read that sentence, so a little bit of deja vu. To secure the votes and protect all legal votes, Fulton County has discovered an issue involving reporting from their work on Friday. Officials at the State Farm Arena to rescan their work from Friday, Raffensperger said. The Secretary of State has a monitor on site, has sent additional investigators and dispatched the Deputy Secretary of State, as well as oversee the process to make sure to thoroughly secure the vote and protect all legal votes. Observers from both political parties are there as well. Well, here's the update. Brendan Keefe, chief investigator at Atlanta's WXIA, says the issue may significantly affect the current Biden lead in Georgia. Well. Fulton County issued a statement later on Saturday which disclosed some of the ballots were not captured in Friday night's vote and a smaller number of ballots were not scanned. Fulton County Election Director Richard Barron described the issue as a failure to transfer files to a server. Oh, servers and DNCs? Nothing's ever gone wrong in that situation. Ew. Necessitating the rescanning of some ballots. He also said the rescanning process was complete. Barron and his team rescanned 342 ballots on Saturday, so that we balanced out, adding the previously some files did not transfer to a server and some ballots had scanned on Saturday. He said he did not know the software issue or it was a physical thing to blame. Roughly 7,200 votes separate Biden and Trump in Georgia. Well, yeah, exactly. Going to be heading to a fucking automatic recount because, well, that margin is less than 1%. I forget how it shakes out at this point. Who knows how many fake or incomplete ballots that they've sent out for illegal ballot curing operations. But, well, if it was a glitch in a system, I wonder if it had anything to do with what happened in Michigan. Now, I know I've covered a lot of, fucking software glitches in Michigan, and this is a different one, showing that you can't really say that all this shit is on the up and up. A glitch in Michigan's election results revealed that Republican Oakland County Commissioner Adam Knopfler, fucking Sig Heil pal, had won his re-election after believing that he had lost. The technical glitch resulted in results from 7 precincts being counted twice. Let me read that again. The technical glitch resulted in results from 7 precincts being counted twice. The officials responded to the air while maintaining that voters should have confidence in the system. Remember, don't question anything, just go along with it. There's nothing to see here. There's no such instance of widespread voter fraud. You remember? Even though that there is, fucking 5 days worth of shit that at least I've done, and many other much more skilled individuals have documented it as well. So, Adam Knopfler, I think he plays guitar for the Dire Straits, Republican from Rochester Hills, went to bed Tuesday night believing, with all precincts reporting, he had lost his seats on a 21-member board of commissioners to Democratic challenger Melanie Hartman by 104 votes. That poor fucker. 19,448 to 19,344. The Detroit News reported. But there was a problem. According to Oakland County Clerk Lisa Brown, the total from 7 precincts in the city had been reported twice. Brown stated, "This is proof that our process of checks and balances work." Yeah? Okay. Why do we keep finding these days after the fact? So if we were to just, blankly turn off our minds, like several other leftists out there, and just believe that there is no instances of widespread voter fraud. Russia can meddle in our elections in 2016, but didn't exactly bother to take the time in 2020 for whatever reason. That everything is on the up and up. And days later, you fess up to the fact that there were voting irregularities. Okay, sure. Nothing to see here, right, folks? Exactly. I thought that was it, Knopfler said. Those were the results, and I would not seek a recount. 104 votes. You are a fucking pussy, my dude. Apparently, there was a little technical glitch in Rochester Hills. And so, I actually ended up winning by a little over 1,100 votes. 10 times as many votes as you would have lost by. This is why I don't like Republicans. Because they are just roll over and die candidates. Trump is pursuing everything within his power, and you know what, with all of these irregularities, because you don't want to, attribute malice to people who actually legally voted. I would attribute that to the fact that there are several war veterans who casted their ballots in the mail-in sense. I would like to attribute malice to them because they're dead. They're dead. There's no other way that they could vote. Okay, there could be instances where somebody who was, fucking 96 years old requested a mail-in ballot, and by the time that fucking November 3rd rolled around between, in early October they requested it, and let's just say early November, that 1 month span, somebody croaked. I'm sure there's an instance of that, and should their vote count? I don't see that being a problem, because I think that there is 3 or 4 people that might have happened to in the entire country. I don't think that that is a widespread issue. But the fact that there are 11,000 instances of dead people receiving ballots and filling them out and returning them, in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Yeah, Richard Barris over at People's Pundit, who puts out obscene amount of content, considering that he's doing a lot of this compiling out there. Yeah, he's found that there are thousands of people just in the small amount of time that he's done his research on this. So, yep. And that's not it for Michigan here today. Republican-led Michigan legislature to hold hearings on election fraud claims. Oh, buddy. The Republican-led Michigan legislature will hold hearings Saturday to consider fraud claims regarding the presidential election. Now, this would have taken place a couple days ago, but we haven't heard anything about this. So let's see what they're going to be asking. Every single legal vote needs to be counted. Enough. I know that's obvious, but I'm tired of seeing that. That's kind of like seeing mostly peaceful at this point. It just makes you want to pull your hair out, regardless of who cast it or who they voted for, said Michigan House Speaker Lee Chatfield, a Republican from Levering, somewhere in Michigan, I'm sure, according to the Daily Journal. And then the candidate who wins the most of these votes will win Michigan's electoral votes, just like it has always been. Nothing about the process will change in 2020, he continued. Multiple allegations of fraud, typos, and glitches were made after the election on Tuesday, which is still ongoing because we're still counting votes in Arizona, and there's a lot of precincts in Nevada. If the national vote, I don't know how that works. The fact that the presidential vote is 99% reporting, and then you do the little search into different precincts, and we seen that yesterday with Wisconsin. They were still 96% complete in some districts, and what the fuck ever. They're going to have to redo it anyways because, yeah, that's one of the states that they're going to have to recount anyways, so, you know. And before we get out of Michigan, sworn affidavit alleges voter fraud in Michigan. Well. Election fraud. Oh, sorry. A Detroit poll worker at a Republican scrutineer have signed sworn affidavits alleging that they have witnessed voter fraud in Michigan, according to Daily Wire. Jesse Jacobs, a poll worker who says he has been the employee of the city of Detroit for decades, probably has seen many corrupt things, says that while he was handling absentee ballots, he was instructed by his supervisors to adjust the mailing date of these absentee ballot packages to be dated earlier than they were actually sent. He claims that all of the 70 to 80 poll workers he worked alongside were giving similar instructions. Now, I covered the Project Veritas Philadelphia postal worker. He has since come public and, has also signed an affidavit swearing that, this was something I was told by my superiors to do. And there are more instances of that in that post office as well. So it's going to be really tough because yesterday I said that Rudy Giuliani has a list of late votes that should have came in after the polls closed in Philadelphia, and they'd be able to parse out those votes that came in late from the ones that were legally cast by apparent people. And there was a post office worker in Philadelphia who says that, some of those were backdated. So we'll be able to prove that there was actual fraud going on in Philadelphia. And seeing how this is the case now in Detroit, we're going to be seeing something pretty similar there too. So Michigan, being called, what was that, Wednesday morning? I guess that would have been Tuesday overnight into Wednesday. That one's going to be flipping back because there is so much shit going on there. But who would have thought that corruption in Detroit? I know that fucking never would have seen that one coming. Yeah, and there are so many other people that are coming forward with that. What happened with, the Giuliani press conference on Saturday, there's a bunch of poll workers saying that they weren't allowed to see. And right now, I think the count is roughly approaching 700,000 votes in Philadelphia, or more specifically Pennsylvania, to be less specific about a place and more encompassing about the entire district, where Republican poll watchers were not allowed to see the proceedings take place, and that is not allowed. That is illegal. It doesn't matter who says that they can't be there to watch it. I'm looking specifically at you, the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, who said that when all the votes are counted, Trump will lose. This wasn't after the election took place. This was a few days before, by the way. So I don't know, either that guy has Miss Cleo powers or he knew something was afoot in the very corrupt city of Philadelphia. I'm just saying, I'm just putting two and two together. But I don't know, I think we're going to go to this one next. Vote rigging, how to spot the telltale signs. Well, Okay, too many voters turn out. Watch the turnout figures. That can be a big giveaway. This is from BBC, and this is in reference to African presidential elections, okay? What it has here. Gabon's opposition says it was cheated of victory after officials' results showed that a turnout of 99.93% in President Ali Bongo. That has to be a joke name. Ali Bongo's home region with 95% of votes in his favor. Well, we've seen such similar turnout yesterday when we went over just checking the margins, the fact that double-digit increases in the median average voter turnout is a little bit suspect, but yeah, I guess the DNC is a little bit more sophisticated than an African nation. At least you'd like to think they are. You never get a 98 or 99% turnout in an honest election. You just don't. The only time that you do is in places like North Korea, where the great leader gets 100% of the vote because he's just so well loved and everybody likes him. Right. High turnout in specific areas. Kind of like we seen yesterday as well. And remember, this is from BBC, not exactly a sympathetic to a right-wing cause type network, not even an honest network on several cases, but when they can cross-reference with African election cases, oh buddy, you better believe that this is some good information. Even when the turnout is within the bounds of possibility, if the figure is wildly different from the turnout elsewhere, it serves as a warning. Why would one particular area or one individual polling station have a 90% turnout while most other areas register less than 70%? And you can see that too if we take a look at what happened in places like Ohio and Florida and California, in New York, New Jersey, all of these places that were safe, even if they were highly contested, like Ohio and Florida were apparently supposed to be, even though they were settled by multiple percentage points. Average turnout, places like Camden, New Jersey, places like Boston as well in Massachusetts, very, very safe Democratic areas. You actually seen a depressed turnout. Fewer African Americans showed out for Joe Biden, even though in places in Wisconsin and Michigan, specifically Detroit, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee, he was wildly popular than even Barack Obama. I don't know why that would work, but you can check that one off. So far we're 2 for 2. Let's see, a large number of invalid votes. Well, we don't know that quite yet, but as we've seen before, 23,000 votes in 2019 in the Wisconsin primaries for the Democratic National Convention. 23,000 were thrown out. That is a significant amount. Are we going to find that here once Rudy Giuliani and his team are successful for President Trump and Bill Barr now that he's on board? It's possible, but we can't mark that off yet. So just earmark that one in your mental Rolodex. How about more votes than ballot papers issued? We don't know about that yet, but it sure seems likely given the potential overvotage when it comes to people actually showing up. Like we seen here when we were cross-referencing the fact that Reuters said, there's a same-day voter registration in some of these counties. Well, that makes me doubt it. Even if, 80% of people turned out, which would have been anywhere between 10 and 20% above regular levels of turnout in some of these states, you can't account for that for just so many people being so energized for old Skeletal Joe. So hold off on that one for a minute. The results don't match. Well, one of the other sworn affidavits that's coming in, I think it's in Wisconsin or could be Minnesota. I'm not entirely sure. The voter witness signatures aren't matching, and neither are some of the addresses. Okay, so that means that those ballots will be invalidated. Might be able to cross that third point off. And as you can see here, mobile phones have made the election much more transparent. It is now standard practice to allow party agents, observers, and sometimes even voters to watch the counting process and take photographs of the results sheets with their phones. Okay, I can't clear my voice any louder. They then have proof of the genuine results of their area, just in case the ones announced later by electoral commissions don't match. It's clearly taken crooked politicians some time to catch up with the fact that people will know if they changed the results. Well, Okay, then earmark that one as well. And last but not least, delay the announcing results. We are still waiting on polls being closed, and tomorrow will be a week. And Nevada's still open. Precincts in Wisconsin are still open. Arizona still hasn't been called today. Neither has Alaska, North Carolina. Like I've laid out before, the reason that this is taking so long, they have to know. When I say they, I mean the Democrats in this case. They have to know how many votes that they have to make up. Now, an old school way to cheat an election is to hold back a specific precinct that you know that you're going to have a bunch of votes in your favor for. Now, wait for all of the votes to be coming in and see what you have to release in order to find out how much you're going to have to cheat. Now, it was very suspect when Philadelphia had the massive land wave of votes come in. What was that? Oh my gosh, I think Wednesday or Thursday. It could have been Friday at this point. Who knows? The fact that Philadelphia wasn't reporting, and being the most populous city in Pennsylvania, that gets the old head scratcheroo going. So yes, everybody and their mother knew that Philadelphia was going to be going for Joe Biden. It's a Democratic stronghold, but to take that long, and then for it to just magically be oh no, it looks like Trump was leading the entire time, but we just had to count Philadelphia. Who knew that it would have flipped at the last second? I don't know, probably the Democrats in charge there. I'm just going to float that out there. I don't know if it's true or not. We're going to find out though. So what can you say? Honestly, before these items get knocked off, and this is for an African election, don't you think that you'd want to hold the United States to a higher standard? Don't you think that you should remove any and all doubt? Because whenever something goes down in the United States, the ripple effect is felt throughout every country in the world, without a doubt. So you need to clean up. You need to make sure that your house is in order before you can criticize the world. And Democrats right now are just sticking their heads in the sand. Oh, we won. How about all of these evidence of voter fraud? No, it's not widespread enough. Okay, it's in several different states. Nope, doesn't matter. Yeah, they just think that they won right now with all of this ballot stuffing that's going on right now. I'm not going to let them. Barr's not going to let them. Giuliani's not going to let them. All the people out there right now doing their own investigation like I am, we're not going to let this fucking shit happen. But if you listen to mainstream sources, like I've pointed out before, like NPR here, the next 2020 election fight, convincing Trump supporters that he lost. They just want you to feel defeated. Okay, the evidence is out there right now. It's widespread. Okay, as much as I want to tell you it's not widespread, it's widespread at this point. Okay, everybody, sworn affidavits of people who are going to be going to court, a bunch of voting irregularities like Civil War veterans voting. It's out there, and Fox News cutting off Kayleigh McEnany, cutting off Trump earlier, what was that, Wednesday? Delegitimizing any voice who just wants to be like, hey, can we question this shit? It is open, it is transparent, and that's the only thing that you can say is transparent about this election. They just want you to believe that Joe Biden is the most popular candidate in the world, even though he couldn't sell out a fucking broom closet if he was holding a rally there at this point. Nobody likes Joe. And you know what? I used to think that Joe Biden was just kind of this, uninspiring guy. I didn't really have a bone to pick with him, but the more and more I look into him, the more and more I think that he is just an abhorrent piece of shit. If you're going along with this facade of an election at this point, and you're not questioning any of the results, fucking DNC hasn't said word zero about this. They're just saying, count all the votes. It's all right. All of this will come out in the wash. There is nothing to see here, folks. Don't look at the man behind the curtain because he's taking a nap. They aren't doing anything. They're just setting their base up for an absolute spurg fit that's going to be happening probably around, I don't know, somewhere between Thanksgiving and the winter solstice, maybe the 20th, maybe stretches into Christmas. But if the Supreme Court gets involved, you bet your fucking bottom dollar Brett Kavanaugh is going to have a thing to say. The guy whose life was probably ruined. Well, if he didn't, imagine this. Imagine if Brett Kavanaugh went through all of that shit and he didn't get confirmed to the Supreme Court. That dude would not have a leg to stand on going forward after baseless accusations. And those were, in fact, baseless accusations. Two of the alleged, victims of his fucking non-real, completely fabricated rape spree retracted their statements, and Christine Blasey Ford is still trying to remember anybody who ever showed up to anything that she ever did. A fucking lying bitch. So yeah, he without a doubt. I know judges are supposed to be impartial and they're just supposed to apply the Constitution, but you can bet your bottom dollar he will find every excuse in the book to side with President Trump, even though I think he does definitely have a constitutional leg to stand on when it comes to this one. And Amy Coney Barrett, the fact that, Kamala Harris went out of her way during her trial to make her seem like a terrible human being. Yeah. Justice Alito, he's already levied his opinion on this. Judge Roberts was also on the George W. Bush legal team during the 2000 election, where with the hanging chads and that law case that ensued as well, to go along with Barrett and Kavanaugh. So, even though I wouldn't necessarily hold that against them or trust anything that John Roberts has to do with anything. And then Neil Gorsuch, well, of course, he was appointed by Trump, and the dude has been staunchly conservative throughout every one of his rulings so far. So that sets you up with 4 people who will probably side with Trump. They're constitutionalists, and even though you just want to throw out stupid John Roberts. So that would be 4-4 if Roberts rhinos his way over to Meyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan. That leaves the man, the myth, the legend, Clarence Thomas. The man whose life was also ruined, or potentially tried to be ruined, during his confirmation hearings in 1991. And you know who was leading the charge on that one? Yeah, you guys have probably seen the memes out there, so I'll just quit with the suspense. It was Joe Biden himself. Yes, when he was a senator at the time, and he led the Inquisition in order to try and ruin Clarence Thomas's life over a fucking hilarious joke, to be completely honest. But I want to highlight that in a specific video itself, because revenge truly is a dish best served cold 29 years later. And if it gets up to the courts, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will not have a fucking leg to stand on in this one. So don't get discouraged by the media. Look at the evidence of a widespread voter fraud out there and just put 2 and 2 together, guys. This shit ain't over. And even if Trump doesn't win, we've exposed the media as being just a corrupt institution of horseshit out there. So continue to search out good independent voices. The Breitbart does real good work. Rebel News up here in Canada does good work, even though that they were slandered to high heavens a few years ago. Still, Ezra Levant does great stuff. Not Ezra Klein. Don't confuse the two. And the Post Millennial, of course, because, well, Andy No is editor-at-large, and Ian Miles Chong out there. Those guys and their entire team are just fucking good old-fashioned journalists, which are few and far between at this point. Everybody is out there trying to editorialize, but yeah, man, I think they are definitely the future. I hope to join them in some capacity as well. Not work for them, just, be up there when it comes to ranking the, truth seekers out there. And before this gets too long, I shall bid you all adieu. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you guys to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.